Be flexible with your pursuits and just give yourself the freedom of a child to explore things in a new way. Just free yourself from yourself, you know? Hi everyone, I'm Shandice and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm really on a journey to be me with courage, and something that I have denied myself of so many times in the past is giving myself the freedom to explore my interest in new creative ways. I'm a business owner, I'm a writer, and I'm the founder of a purpose-driven community for women called Their Purposeful Woman. And what I found, especially during 2020, like 2020 was a lot, and I know for so many of us, we contended with kind of like the fluctuation of joy and sorrow, like things going well or like having moments that we could enjoy, but also kind of being faced with so many moments of sorrow from social injustice around the world, or especially the US, to just losing loved ones and just kind of facing with how the pandemic changed our lives. And something that I said at the end of the year, I was like, I need to go into 2021 giving myself the freedom to explore who I am and not allow myself to be restricted to this idea that I have of myself as a business owner or, you know, like as a writer. So I was just like, I'm going to resurrect my YouTube channel and I'm going to make videos about any and anything that brings me joy. So you will see that so far I have a variation of videos. But anyway, like I wanted to kind of just take some time out on this Friday afternoon to just share with you a few reasons why you really should be intentional about trying new things. And I can tell you from my experiences that so many times, like I've tried to kind of put myself into this box and try to create marketing strategies around my purpose or around who I am and feel like, okay, like it has to be done like this, or, you know, like it has to be this way, that way. And I think that so often we can become a slave to an idea of who we are to the point that we don't allow God to move through our lives in new ways. If there's anything that I definitely want as I start to create more videos, I'm going to be doing that unapologetically, and I want to make sure that my call to action is always to be you with courage. You know, like whether you are recording a makeup video or you are working at a corporation or you are a instructor of some sort, be you with courage and embody who you are through the work that you do, and never feel like you can only half show up in whatever you decide to pursue, you know, whether it be your passions and interests or just kind of enhancing and developing your skills. So I'm going back to my first point. The first thing I would say is explore your interests in new ways, right? I have a background in media production and like TV production and so on. That's like what I studied, and I had the opportunity to like work with some really good companies. But something that I realized is like going back to the idea of like, okay, the way you explore an interest has to be done in this particular way. What I realized is that I literally had become a slave to my own expectations of how I should present myself. And I almost felt guilty, like saying like, okay, Shandice, you value making a difference. How does recording a shepherd's pie video make a difference? How does sharing your skincare routine or anything like that, how does any of that even make a difference? And it's like, if you are so like premeditated, calculated with everything that you do, it kind of, it makes you rigid, you know, like you're not free. Because in me asking myself that question, why don't you just give yourself the opportunity to find out? Like, instead of saying, how's that gonna make me a better person? How's that gonna change my life? Why not place yourself in that situation where you're actually giving yourself the opportunity to see how something could possibly make a difference or change your life? So I would definitely say, like, for example, if you are a business owner like myself, and just because you're in one field, it doesn't mean you can't explore another field's interest. It doesn't mean that that takes away from you cultivating a fulfilling career over here. Like, it's nice to have hobbies. It's nice to see like how your life is kind of like steadily transitioning into something that you may have never been able to dream of. So definitely like be flexible with your pursuits and just give yourself the freedom of a child to explore things in a new way. The next thing I would say is evolve unapologetically. Going back to like sometimes placing yourself in a box and feeling like, well, because I hold this title, because I'm this or that, you may have kind of like attached certain expectations to that role. And I'm not saying that we, you know, like there's a fine line between it, right? Like in saying like, obviously you're going to carry yourself with integrity. Obviously you're going to always put your best foot forward in what you do. But what I'm trying to say is that like evolve unapologetically in the sense that just because you may have dedicated 10 years of your life to doing something, it doesn't mean that that's going to be what you do in the next 10 years of your life. Like just allowing yourself to kind of like get your feet wet if you are starting to feel like, oh, this is an interest of mine, like I'm drawn over here. Why don't you give yourself that freedom to see what may be over there? You know, like just free yourself from yourself, you know? Another thing I would say is like never forget that you don't know it all. Wisdom, I think that's actually the greatest wisdom of all, knowing that you don't know it all and knowing that God is a God who always reveals himself to us in new ways if we only allow ourselves to hear his voice and to see his glory in the everyday moments of life. So sometimes, you know, something that my therapist taught me was ask God, Lord, how may you use me today? What do you have planned for me today? Show me. Give me a sign. Like let me tell you something now. God gives me so many signs and I'm excited to kind of like share some of those stories with you. But never get tired of talking to God. Never get tired of asking God questions and never get tired of asking God to show up in your life, because best believe he will, and it won't always be in a conventional way. I think that it's so easy to get bound by tradition, bound by legalism. This is how it's supposed to be. I have to pray like this. I have to do this. But it's like God might be trying to show you something in a way that isn't going to be through you restricting yourself and not being a liberated, free, spirited human being. Like we need to be free this year, you know? So those are just a few things that came to mind that I really wanted to share with you. So thinking, okay, so like going back to the topic of like trying new things, right? So throughout my life, you know, I have always kind of like, okay, so I love lipstick. That's always been my thing. But I've always kind of stick to like purples, sometimes like a little like a gold shimmer or something like that. So I've been trying new lipsticks. I've been trying new hairstyles. Like I'm trying to try some new things and like see what I like and see what I don't like, because that's another thing, like you're forever changing and evolving. So I wanted to share with you 2 products that I have tried. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Bohemian liquid lipstick, and this is the color that I am, hold on, let me see if it focuses. Okay, so this is the color that I'm currently wearing today. And then for my concealer, I am wearing the Caffeine concealer by Lip Bar. I love Lip Bar. I love their lipsticks, and I just love the company as a whole. I like what they stand for. Their products are vegan. Their products are cruelty-free, and I think that as we move forward in the world, I think it's important to stand for something and to have a mission. So I love that they're a mission-driven company. So yeah, so these are 2 things that I'm trying this month. And like overall, like I said, like I don't necessarily know 100%, you know, the direction of this channel, but like I love that I'm putting myself in a position that I can just explore my interest and not feel bound by an old idea of who I thought I was. So I would love for you to join me on this journey. And if you have struggled with this feeling of kind of like being afraid to try new things because in some ways you don't think that it aligns with who you think you are almost, I want to just remind you to kind of like release that pressure. Like once you're not going out there like killing someone or like hurting people, I think that I think sometimes we just take life way too seriously and we're not giving ourselves the freedom to grow, evolve, learn, and just experience the joys of this world. Like there's so much bad, but there's so much good. So just never forget that. Like there will always be the light is wherever you believe it is. And I honestly believe that. The light is wherever you believe it is. If you believe that there's light where you are, you will create that light and you will create that atmosphere. So that's just my little quick inspiration. You know, look, I was just like, it's so funny because I was just like, I'm not going to record any videos like this, but I can't help it. This is who I am. This is a part of who I am. So leave a thumbs up if you agree. Let me know if this is something that you have struggled with. And I would love to hear your stories in the comments because I feel like we're going to be building a little community here. So have an amazing day, night, wherever you are in the world, and always be with courage. See ya.